that name.
We're live up at this end. And we are back to front at our end.
Why should it be back to front?
Well, that's what we're going to find out. To be quite honest, it doesn't matter so long as Frank can see it the right way round.
Yeah. Because that does that in Microsoft Teams too.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
What are you showing on screen at the moment?
It's a PowerPoint slide, like a generic thing that says designer helps you get your point across. And it's got some fruit on there.
With a circle round it.
Yeah.
And in the corner is our camera shot. The bottom left-hand corner is our camera shot, which at the moment is showing the roof of Stuart's Lounge, which has got a fan and a light.
Yeah, it's showing the ceiling fan and the beams and the chandelier.
Not that you can tell it's a chandelier. It looks more like a spider from here, but, you know, hey.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just trying to find you.
Well, we made it as fucking easy as possible.
Have you found Test for Frank yet?
No.
All right, well, we've got a different number up here if that's any help. That looks a bit easier too. So it's again that studio.youtube.com/video/.
Oh, I'm miles away from that, Keith. Hang on.
I knew you would be. I just thought I'd piss you off by saying all that.
Did you actually spell Test for Frank correctly, Keith?
Yeah. Fuck you. T-E-S-T.
All lowercase.
All lowercase.
Yeah.
F-O-R space Frank. F-R-A-N cunt.
Did you use capital F for Frank?
No, all lowercase.
All
Everything was lowercase.
Not coming out.
Well, I don't know what to say.
So you went into the search and you've searched for Test for Frank and nothing comes up.
Yeah, and it should do.
Well, is there supposed to be a delay on this when this happens?
Yeah, but not that much. Look, there is a delay, but it's normally about, well, look, realistically, it's normally about a minute at worst.
Right.
Well, we've been running 2 minutes 20 now.
Are you signed in?
Yeah, of course so. Maybe sign up.
Hang on. I've got my phone. Let me see if I can go onto YouTube and find Test for Frank.
No, it's Test for Frank, Keith. You fucking wrote it.
I fucking wrote it. I know what it fucking says.
He's going to see if he can find it on his phone.
Well, I can't find it here at all, which means you're not really streaming.
Yeah, that's probably what the story is, hey? We're not really streaming. Now that's...
So if we're not really streaming, what's going on?
Why is it telling us that we're live?
Oh, well, it'll tell you you're live, even though you're not.
It's lying to us.
That's YouTube for you.
Mm.
Yeah. Right.
Can you see, but you can see yourself back to front, can't you?
Yep.
Can you find it, Keith?
Hang on a minute. Just give me a minute.
Oh, how slow do you try?
Well, here we go. Test for Frank live. St. James 3 minutes ago. I've got it.
Really?
Minutes ago. Yep.
You got it?
I've got it, arsehole.
Yep. You got it?
I've got it, arsehole.
I've got it, arsehole.
All right, turn that shit off. God.
Hang on, I'm trying to shut it up now.
No, it's because I found it.
Oh, good.
You've had a cone, haven't you?
Oh, dear.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so is the picture the right way round where you are?
Depends. We'll have to do it.
No, it's not the right way around. Okay,
No, I'm
we're in
kidding
trouble
you.
here.
No, I'm kidding you. You know, you were kidding me with the parcel not getting there. You know? Yeah, designer helps you get your point across. PowerPoint designer suggests professional designs for your presentation based on the
Beautiful.
country in your house.
No worries. So the fact we're seeing it back to front means nothing. It means you guys get
No,
it. Okay.
look, it's always been like that.
Yeah,
It is. I don't know what it is.
Same with Teams.
Yeah, I know.
Mm.
And it's the same with lots of things, actually. Zoom is the same.
Oh, really?
It's the same with Zoom.
I wonder why.
I don't know.
Is that the ATEM that does that?
No, it's not. It's not. It's actually the software that does it.
The software, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's whatever YouTube is using or Zoom is using or Teams, they all do the same thing.
Right. Okay.
So at the moment, I'm just writing a piece of software actually that's going to get me operating on AWS. So that means I've got my own television station effectively.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
I can live stream whatever the fuck I want out to it and leave it there for as long as I want to.
We can when we come up, we can get together in your studio and talk shit on your channel.
We could. We could. It's a pity we couldn't get that working on the FaceTime because
Oh, you're ready for a refill, eh? Is this the whole bottle?
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Well, we already gone through the whole bottle.
No, Dick.
Mm.
But I had half a glass, and you've had. Well,
I had half a glass.
you had a whole glass.
No.
I poured you a whole.
Oh, so did you call me old?
Well,
Right.
a restaurant whole glass.
Yeah, right, okay.
Not
oh, that's like that's one thing.
not a Keith whole glass.
That's normally what I give the restaurant guy when he gives me a glass of anything. It's like one finger. I give him
Yeah, I
that.
know.
Yeah, they're
But
supposed to give you two.
It's almost like they're frightened to bloody pour the glass. No, I mean, why give you such a dirty, great big wine glass if they're just going to put this little dribble down
in the
the
bottom, yeah. Which 2 swigs later is all gone.
Yeah.
You are such a feral fucker.
So I am so looking forward to coming up and meeting your mates, let me tell you.
we had a bit of a thing going on Saturday night where we had a bunch of people over.
Yeah.
And it was fucking hilarious. It was a hilarious night.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be
Yeah.
good.
My mates are down there, mate. I haven't got that many friends up here. I've just got like my mates down there.
Right. Okay.
So I've got a couple of friends, but I try and contain it because it's too fucking hard. Because otherwise, what happens?
Okay. What happened to the folks that came there that time when?
The
when I was
butcher.
up there? Hey.
The butcher.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you see much of him, or is he he's dropped off the radar?
No, he dropped right off. I think because him and Jeanette broke up,
Oh, that his wife.
and I don't know exactly what happened there. You know, there's lies being told on both sides because I've spoken to him since and gone, what the fuck's going on? And he go, oh, it's fucking Jeanette. She doesn't want to come around.
Right.
And then you talk to Jeanette, and it's like, oh, it's fucking Paul doesn't want to come anywhere near you.
Right.
So
okay.
it's like, well, you know what? I don't really give a fuck that much. It's not anything that's that important to me.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to be like that, you can fuck off anyway. I'm not that interested.
Yeah.
I've got some really good mates up here, but I've kept it fairly small. You know,
I remember
I've got
she had a nice set of chest puppies on her. That one.
Yeah, they were false. She had them bought.
Oh, she had them refilled.
Yeah, well, Paul had them refilled.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He was a fucking. I'll tell you what, mate. She was a fucking gold digger. That thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she took Paul for just about everything he had. He came into it all quite set up as a butcher,
Yeah.
and she left him fucking scratching his nuts, wondering what the hell he's going to do.
Shit.
Kind of a thing,
All
mate.
that happened in the time that Vinny and I come up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So look, you know what? I mean, I'm not that upset about that. I've got a couple of other good mates up here, though. You guys are going to love them. John Blanc is a mate of mine that I used to work for at Solarheart.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He was my sales manager, and he is a fucking top dude, that bloke.
Yeah.
And, mate, you reckon I can sell? I don't have a fucking... I can't handle this bloke.
Right. Well, then keep him away from Rochelle because you know what these fucking fast-talking salesmen are like.
I think he's. See, he hung up. Oh dear.
You know?
Yeah, what happened there?
Oh, it's the service here. The service here is absolute bollocks at the moment.
Yeah, well, you better come fucking back down to Adelaide, mate. No, you can.
Well, it's on the cards, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's on the cards. It's just we
At
can't
least
do it
it-
just at the moment because of the kids.
Yeah, at least you know you've got yourself set up now, which is good. That's the important thing.
So in terms of what I'm doing up here, so the whole funeral thing's gone a bit quiet at the moment. I think people stopped dying.
Yes, the coronavirus, mate. They're actually living now. They're surviving.
What the fuck is going on with that? Bring on the coronavirus.
Yeah.
I was,
You might have
but
to.
so I'm doing a corporate video for the funeral, one of the funeral homes I'm working for.
Yeah.
And as I say, I keep taking on these projects where I have to do a lot of film work.
Yeah.
But I get home and then realise, oh, fuck, I wish I would have taken that shot, and then I wish I would have taken this shot. So as a cameraman, I've got a bit of learning to do yet.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that. I'm quite happy to learn. I'm very happy to learn.
You're talking about
So-
still shots or video footage?
Well, video footage.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing corporate videos and so on, you're gonna have all these fucking arty shots, and you can't go by or get away with having a shot out of focus or anything like that. You
Yeah.
fuck up with your focus, and you've got to do the whole job again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and it's bad because if you fuck up on focus on something outside, you've got to go back either that day or you've got to shoot the whole lot again.
Yeah.
Because otherwise your continuity's up to shit.
Yeah, that's right.
So I've done this one job about 4 times now.
Yeah.
Keep forgetting the shots and go, oh fuck! I wish I would have taken that shot.
Will you be? Sorry, just to break into the sort of conversation there, just with but it's an important question. Would you be available tomorrow for in case we run into fucking trouble again with that? We've forgotten something because you've refreshed.
No,
our,
of course.
you've been.
Yeah, I'm all good all day.
Good. We'll be calling you about 3 p.m.
I'll make sure. Well, that's actually a good idea. Let me know what time you're thinking, and then I'll make
that's
sure
what
I'm
I'm saying.
available.
We aim to get sort of set up by about 4 p.m. at the latest. So probably we call you around about 3:30. 3:30.
Yeah, no worries.
And
Yeah,
we'll
of
do
course.
we'll do a quick connection on YouTube. Make sure we got everything up and running, and go from there.
So the thing is if you're on their channel, so the reason I did it this way is it just makes it simple on you.
Yeah.
All right. There's another way of doing it, but it means you've got to have your modem there and God knows what else. And it's, then you have to plug the modem into the ATEM, and then the ATEM has to be connected to the computer.
Well, we've got all
We've
this.
gone through that exercise, remember? We've done that before.
Yeah,
but
well, that's what we got.
that's how everything's set up now.
Okay?
That's exactly how everything is set up now. We've got the
modem running, the
modem
ATEM
running.
Pro,
yeah.
control through the control laptop into the monitor, and
So I'm happy to sort of replicate that tomorrow. If the if the chick from the museum comes up and says, we can use our Wi-Fi and our all that sort of stuff. Then,
Tell them fuck off. No, thank you very much.
no, don't do it. No.
Use your own.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's safe. We know how this works. We know how to connect it all up.
The minute that you do that, you will create yourself a world of hurt.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, I promise you. I mean, I've fallen for this a couple of times where I've been told I can use the internet there, and on one occasion I had no option. I was in a church in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
and so and there was no internet there for in terms of 4G.
Yeah.
So I had to use theirs, and what a fucking nightmare! That was a 4-hour setup for normally what would take me 30 minutes.
Oh,
Wow.
So
okay.
it is a head fuck if you start changing between networks and so on. It really is difficult.
And that's what happened in the church.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Lord works in mysterious ways, mate. He was fucking
Mate,
making it hard for you.
Till you do your first fucking funeral live stream, let me tell you, there are things that happen that make you believe all kinds of shit about this. If ever I was suspicious, and I never have been, and you both know I've never been suspicious in any kind of way.
Well, now you believe in Satan.
I think there's just something really weird about doing funerals, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I've had the weirdest things happen.
Really.
Keith, you'll relate to this. I was in a church, I told you this, Stuart,
Yeah.
in a church about 2 weeks ago doing a gig.
Yeah.
That was this church. It was a pain in the ass to set up.
Yeah.
I had one vicar was on, or priest or whatever you call him, was on a radio mic, and the other one had a lectern mic.
Right.
So I was using their equipment, and I was just interfacing that, taking the signal from them back to me and then back out to the net.
Yeah.
So everything was all cool. There was no issues and whatnot, and I got it running, and I tested it. And you know me, I test something about 7 million times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Just to be sure when a mistake comes, I can say it's not my fucking fault.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there with my arms crossed. Everything was just running honky-dory. And then all of a sudden, just out of the blue, this fucking thing took off. And I mean, it wasn't like it just started to ring or anything. It was like someone had just turned on a radio mic and stuck the fucking microphone straight into the speaker.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Because it took off like that. And I went, you're fucking hell.
Yeah.
So I ripped everything out. I just pulled all the faders straight down, of course, first thing you do. And so that the whole church woke up. The priest said, God has spoken. I said, no, it was me.
Yeah.
To a roar of laughter in the middle of a fucking funeral.
Oh, dear. Oh.
And then when it came to the time, because I was all queued up, ready for something else to do, in my panic, I had pulled the audio out of the computer.
Yeah.
So I only had one job to do in that, and that was run one cue. And I pressed the button, and just nothing came out, and I went, oh, fuck. And then eventually I found out where it was when she started doing it. So right in the middle of her speech, this fucking piece of music came up right over the top of it.
Oh,
So
geez.
at the end of all of that lot, it was reasonably funny because the priest came over to me and said, you're not religious, are you? I said, well, I wasn't, but I could be. From here on. I used his name a lot of times, let me tell you.
You should have said, oh well, I wasn't till fucking some Judas brought the Prince of Darkness in.
It was really fucking funny. It was really funny.
Oh, dear.
But in the meantime, it looked really bad on me, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Because you know, two funeral directors in there, and both of them came to me after and said, what the fuck happened then?
Yeah.
And I went, don't look at me, it was that dopey fucking priest.
Yeah.
And
He probably
they
was
went,
the priest anyway.
well, I don't know how it could be. He was, like, I was running signal, so his mic was on, he had like a headset mic on.
He probably had a
He
foot
was sitting
pedal.
in a chair, minding his own fucking business with his arms crossed. And then but the only thing I thought it might be was that I bet you that, and the thing I didn't check was that that's a VHF mic.
Yeah, right.
Ah.
And then a
Taxis.
cab went by.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, only a fucking church would still have a VHF mic.
This was out in the country, wasn't it?
No, it's in Sunshine Coast, which is really the country, but
Yeah.
Sunshine Coast is really equivalent to Port Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably had that microphone for about 30 years.
Yeah, because
You're probably right, actually.
yeah, and that's probably exactly what it was. And a bloody taxi went by.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I thought. I thought after it, I wonder if that was a VHS mic.
Yeah. Well,
And
I'll tell you a
cab
funny
went by.
story. When the Hyatt was first built, the Pak Poi family, they were Chinese. They were like the financiers or part financiers for the whole Asia project, or whatever they called it, ASA. And they had the daughter, Virginia Pak Poi. She was the banquet manager there at the Hyatt when Paul McCann and I went in to do this automotive conference, and it was an international conference. So there's all these delegates come from Europe and everything, and it went through the whole spectrum of automotive and spray painting, the whole fucking lot, and it was bedlam. You would have been good on that conference, because there was fucking the 35mm slides, and carousels and carousels of slides and all that sort of shit, and it was just fucking pandemonium on the first day. And anyway, but Virginia, she was freaking out. She thought it was all our fault, when it wasn't. It was the fucking presenters that were just rocking up at the last minute, and some of the slides were back to front and all that sort of stuff, and we didn't even have time to check them. They just said, "Oh, here's my slides," and anyway, this one guy that went to open the conference, we had him hooked up to a lapel mic, right? And he went to speak, and as soon as he went to speak, we heard this ding, 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 ding. It was like a Spanish guitar, classical thing just going off. We're there, what the fuck? And Paul McCann thought it was the music off the CD player, the background music, and he's pulling faders down, panicking, and it was still there. It was still coming through, and it was some fucking dude down in the atrium bar or wherever, or I should say upstairs in the atrium bar, had a cordless pickup, and it must have been the same frequency on his acoustic guitar. He was in there auditioning,
Oh my God.
And it was coming through the PA system as like clear as, crystal clear, like we had this, like a studio mic, a Neumann or something, and this guy's playing this, like school guitar. And the guy at the microphone at the lectern is saying, well, that was a surprise, but very entertaining, And
that's the one reason I never ever liked people having radio mics on conferences. For just that reason, that I've seen it happen before as well.
Yeah.
We had it happen at Conrad's regularly, where if we were using radio mics, you'd cross the frequency because there were so many rooms there.
Yeah.
And it's all very well to say that we're professional and we collaborate. We fucking don't.
No.
Yeah. We don't actually care what they're using or what we're using. We just go to the nearest frequency.
Yeah.
So so I don't really like using that type of thing in conference. And in actual fact, I use a radio mic now all the time. So I've got a couple of same Sennheisers as you.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 of them, and so what I do is I do exactly what we did at the Benny's funeral, and I clip the mic onto their mic.
Yeah.
And go for there because their systems are so fucking antiquated. It's beyond a joke.
Hey, what was going to ask you? Your curved lectern, your Perspex lectern that you had.
Yeah.
What did you end up doing with that?
I sold it actually to Tristan. Hang on a minute.
Dinner's ready.
Oh, I'll be down in a minute. Thank you. Yeah, I sold that.
Oh, right.
So, let's say hello, Stewie.
Hey. Hello.
Say hello, Stewie.
Oh, hi, Taya. How you doing?
Hey, see ya.
No.
Oh, okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah, so I sold that to Tristan, but they're not expensive, mate.
You sure? Did you get it from Design Quintessence?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they were about $2,000 with the road case.
Really?
That's the Perspex lectern on the curved truss.
I reckon I bought them because I'm sure when I bought mine, they were sub 1,000.
Oh, yeah.
No, it could have been 13 or 1,400 with the road case, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, it was about, when I checked, they were about 1,500 on special that with a road case. But they reckon normally $2,000. And I thought, I just wanted to check whether you got it from them as well. From
yeah, and they're a nice lectern.
Yeah,
just
they are.
bear in mind they come without microphones.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
So you got to do your own microphone, and that's a head fuck.
Oh,
we got Steve Savage to do ours, and he did a really fucking good job.
Steve Saba.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you up off the floor yet, Keith?
There was the AV.
Not yet, no.
He was the AV Antichrist.
He's just a fucking antichrist. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Hey,
Right.
when you say that the design quintessence, the lectern, came without microphones, you're talking about.
No, but no microphone jacks either.
Oh, right. With as far as the Canon sockets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. Okay. Ah. That's
Keep that in
interesting.
mind. So
Yeah.
what actually happened was that and look, and as I say, as much as I hate to admit it, he did a really bloody good job of putting it together.
Yeah.
So he's taken the top off, and he's managed to get it down the truss,
Yeah.
and then we made a hole at the bottom of the truss at the back of it, and then pulled it down there.
Yeah.
But you couldn't see it.
Well, that's normally what they do. I think Centrals that I've hired theirs, and I've hired Andy's. Andy's was better. I'm pretty sure I got it from Andy J's the last time. But yeah, I think they said they got them from Design Quintessence as well.
Yeah. Look, the only thing is you got to, when you're buying that kind of stuff, you've got to make sure that you're not overcapitalizing. Because the thing is I bought two of them,
Yeah.
and I reckon I got 10% of my money back on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had them for a couple of years, and
Yeah.
you know they're not a fast return on your investment at all.
I know. So I've always hired them. So yeah.
Better off to hire them,
Yeah.
but much better off to hire them.
Yeah.
So, and also, you know, the other thing is keep your eye on the AV pages in Facebook
Yeah.
and in on Gumtree and those places. Just keep your eye open to those pages because they quite often come up for sale and they're $1.50.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's also,
You know, a lot of that stuff.
you know, like Pickles Auctions and so forth. They do a lot of AV liquidations as well. So
Yeah. I don't know necessarily though, Keith, that auction is the way to go. Facebook have some really good marketplaces for AV.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
So-
that. Yeah.
I bought a load of stuff off of there. The other day, I bought a really nice stereo Behringer DI,
Yep.
which I was wanting to buy while I was down there, but I couldn't get my hands on it.
Mm.
To buy them new, they're $50. I paid $10 for it.
There you go. Well,
So, and it's straight off those pages. So, you know, I've just bought a couple of Fresnels, a couple of 650 watt LED Fresnels.
yeah. They'll be nice and
And-
bright too.
Huh?
They're nice and bright too.
Well, they are, but
Yeah.
the nice part about it is that they've got an inbuilt dimmer.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, the LED ones,
Mm.
$140 each.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where from?
The Facebook.
Oh,
AV.
I got them second hand. I think I got them from a company called, I haven't got them yet.
LED Fresnels.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
What's the fucking name of them? We've heard of them before. Melbourne company. I may not get them actually if I'm dealing with Melbourneites, but
Not,
Yeah, they're a bunch of crooks, you know that.
probably fucking ripping me off. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Can you get
event
back?"
lighting.
Yeah. Fucking
No,
Queensland.
it was honestly, they'd been used.
Event lighting.
No,
Okay.
something AV.
Oh,
I can't remember.
yeah.
But yeah, so they were just selling a whole bunch of stuff off just purely to try and recapitalize.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, well, I'll grab a couple of them. So I've got
Yeah.
a couple of them. Now I've got to get a desk, which is a head fuck. But that's all right because where I'm heading at the moment. So I think the funeral industry is slowing down at the moment because now most of the restrictions are out. The country's open again, so people can fly. And so, you know, now all of a sudden people are going, well, do we really need to live stream this? So,
Yeah.
but because what's happened across this time is I've had such a steep learning curve,
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at the live streaming now. And I've got some really nice equipment. And I don't care whether I live stream funeral or whether I live stream anything. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
You know, it's just as quick to set up and get moving.
Yeah.
And so I'm about to start going and having a talk to a whole bunch of event organisers up here because there's not a lot of AV options up here. So I'll go and have a talk to a bunch of event organisers and just say, look, you know, this is what I can do and what I can offer. and see what is out there, because I think, there is a market up here.
Mm.
Yeah.
You got AV Partners up here with his massive staff of one.
Gary Hackett,
Oh, Mr.
Yeah.
Hackett.
AV Partners.
Oh, Jesus, hasn't he retired yet? I thought he'd be out of this whole business by now.
Yeah, he's still going.
Surely. Yeah. Hasn't he made enough
And then
money?
Whitworth Bunches up here as well. They've got what is it? The Novotel.
The force of one.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a force of two. That one. Listen, and actually, believe it or not, remember Phil? What's his name from Hamilton Island?
Phil DeLangen.
Phil DeLangen.
Yeah.
Well, it's his son that runs it down here.
Right.
Because Phil DeLangen and Gary Hackett are in partnership in this whole thing.
Yeah. Well, he was originally from Wollongong. Phil DeLangen.
Yeah, you can fucking imagine that.
Yeah, he was Wollongong, and he had his own business, and he got seduced by Gary Hackett, and then they've been the best of buddies for ever since.
Yeah, I actually heard. I got a message from Gary Hackett a while ago. I don't remember what it was.
Was it Get Fucked?
No. I think it was an invitation to something. It was all obviously an auto message.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was an invitation to something, because I'm friends with him on. I've only met him once, and
Yeah.
that wasn't a very pleasant meeting.
Yeah.
So that was thanks very fucking much to Rod Stewart in Melbourne.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Terry Davenport.
Oh, yes.
Terry Davenport
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
got me right in the shit. Him and Alistair Patterson
Yeah.
got me right in the shit. That's what started the whole fucking rot off with Staging Connections, that.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah,
That's a real shame.
not really. Not really. To be honest with you, I kind of outgrown where I was there anyway.
Well, haven't we all,
The
mate?
thing-
I mean, that was.
Well, the thing with stagings was that, I needed to go back and learn how to do something new. I was over the computers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to go and learn something new. And it was a hell of a lot closer to where my passion lay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was a lot happier going to that and doing the hard yards and so on. But, I kept forgetting how much I enjoy doing the business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were a different. They became a different culture in the end. Originally it was a good culture, but it ended up being like a little boy band of AV.
Well, actually, sure, it just kind of got that way as I joined. It was. I think I missed the good culture part of it.
Yeah, you had, unfortunately.
I was at the very tail end of that good culture, because that's where I met you, where I met Keith, where I
Yeah.
met. And so that was right at the tail end
It
of
was
that.
the tail end, yeah.
Yeah, it ended with Bill. When Dave took over, it all started going downhill really badly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did.
Dave Byer was the beginning of sorrows.
But the thing was as well, and even if you think about it, the thing about all of that is that, Staging Connections was a good grounding for all of us. So it
Yeah, it
taught us
was.
all a great deal. We would never have got that experience anywhere else.
No.
Exactly, yeah.
No.
That's why I've got to give them credit for that.
Yeah.
One thing, it was certainly a good learning curve, and we all sort of learnt what we did through, Staging Connections, I guess. So
Well, that's, and that's why to a large extent, I've got a bit bad to say about Dean Lewis, but Dean Lewis taught me my craft, realistically.
yeah,
Dean Lewis taught me. I could not have done what I had ever done without Dean. I'll be done in a minute.
That was 10 minutes ago.
I could not have done what I would have done without Dean having taught me those things. The nights that we sat there and did the creative things, that Dean and I would sit down and do the creative stuff.
yeah,
We sit down and we come out. It was what taught me, and it was what gave me a good backing to be able to start Pro Show, because I could never have done it otherwise.
oh,
Yeah.
true. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because you
I-
guys spent a bit of time on doing the messenger stuff, etc., didn't you?
Well, yeah, and if you remember, they kept putting me on all the big shows.
Yes, they did.
All the big stuff that came in, I went and did, and I was really Dean's left hand,
Yeah.
right
But
hand.
you know what it was, Frank, more than anything, right? I think it was your fucking attitude. You just had a get up and go sort of thing. Yeah, shit. Yeah, you you did have a good attitude, which it was like this you were very gung-ho. Yeah, nothing seemed, if it did scare you, it never showed, right? From another
Yeah, it's still the same.
And it was like, yeah, fucking no worries. Yeah, we can do this, and that's what I liked about you. You just had the confidence. And I thought, fuck, I'm glad someone's got some confidence, I didn't have much.
I think that's what happens when you've been in business for yourself for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just end up with a confidence that you never had before. And you just learn, it's all very well to sit there and be an abominable no-man. But at the end of the day, we've still got to make things happen. So the easiest way, and I did that, I still do it now.
Yeah.
Where someone will say, "Can you?" And before they've even asked me the question, I've gone, "Yes, of course I can."
Yeah, what is it you want me to do? Yeah.
The thing
how the
was
fuck am I going to make that work? I remember sitting down with you, Keith.
Yeah.
Remember, even before Stuart joined us, you and I sat down going, "Oh fuck, I've just taken that on. Why would I have done that? But we need to make it work." And I've done that throughout my life. I've always done that.
Yeah.
I noticed there was two things when I was on the, as a tech on the road and all that sort of stuff, and it was just a matter of learning the equipment and then going, oh, okay, I'm confident, When I went into the Hilton, it was different, it was like I had something to fall back on. Yeah, it was my knowledge of how to make things work in that respect. But the worst thing was trying to adapt to being screwed constantly, from a different level. It was, when you needed help, you couldn't get any. It was very hard. And
well, that was the really sad part about it, wasn't it?
Yeah,
with things, because I remember. So I had come in. I think you had just moved to. So I'd been doing some gigs. And then you had moved to the Hyatt.
Yeah, and then
that was before.
Then
I'm being Rob told, Armstrong was there.
Yeah, and then I'm being told I can't use you. And so that's how Dean and I and Dave Byer and Louise had the big fallout because no one was saying anything, and I was the only one that fucking spoke up. And they're not going to tell me who I'm going to use and not going to use. And then what the fuck, and I said, that's got nothing to do with me. I'm there just because you had a bitch, fallout with Frank. That's not my fault, And Dave Byer, I said that to Dave. And Dave said, well, Dean's just arrived now, so tell him. And I'm there, I'll tell him the same as what I've just told you. And we had this big argument. And Dominic was there,
I remember Dominic calling me going, you've got no idea how much of a bitch fight you just caused.
And I just remember seeing Dominic disappear in the background there with this big fucking cheesy grin on his face, thinking, oh shit, this is entertaining watching all this shit go down,
Yeah. Oh, good.
And
but I have got to say that I can honestly tell you that the best and most enjoyable time of my AV career was when I was working with Staging Connections in those early days.
Yeah, well, that was good.
It was
time,
great.
Right?
That's just fucking great.
But
after you left, with Phil, with Dom, with you, with Keith.
Yeah.
Fuck, I remember going out to this quarry with Keith. That was our first gig. Remember that, Keith?
Yeah, vaguely, very vaguely.
We're going out in this truck. And then we were up some ladder. I can't remember what even that was all about. But we were out in this quarry, and and then all the shit I did with Rob. I remember Rob teaching